Okay, let's do WrestleMania 28. Mixed bag, fair to say, yeah, I reckon. I think the main matches delivered as they needed to, but fuck did they need to after that opening to the show. What was that all about? Was that punishment for Daniel Bryan being a shit champion? But at the end of the day, they've booked him that way. So what more can he do than what he's given? I don't understand it. I don't understand if it's a fuck you to the fans because he's somehow managed to get himself over. I mean, the crowd was still chanting his name like 3 matches later. Like I say, I don't know if it's punishment to Daniel Bryan or a fuck you to the fans, or I don't know what it was, but in my opinion, there's absolutely no excuse for a World Heavyweight Championship match being that short, a title match at WrestleMania. No way. I remember Kane versus, Chavo Guerrero for the ECW title a few years ago that lasted about 30 seconds. That's the only thing I can think of that's anything like this. And there's just no excuse for it. I mean, yeah, people might not have bought the show specifically to watch this match, but there may be people out there that have done and that are looking forward to this as being a good match, which it would have been if it had a decent amount of time. And so that's just basically thanks for your money, but fuck you, in my opinion, to the fans, which is bang out of order. And Vince McMahon will be sitting there in his fucking mansion and he'll be thinking, why does no one care about Daniel Bryan? Or why does no one tune into SmackDown? And this is why, you grey prick. Because how can you get behind someone who gets flattened in 20 seconds? You stupid prick. Don't you realise that this will affect Daniel Bryan massively going down the line? That's just ruined anything. Ruined any credibility, in my opinion. And yeah, Sheamus was on a tear and he's been squashing people left, right and centre, but this should have been a competitive match. I mean, all they needed was 10 or 12 minutes to get a decent match out of this. That's all. They didn't need much time. Daniel Bryan can work a quick pace match if he's not got much time and still get it over. Absolutely no reason for this, no excuse for it. Piss poor, in my opinion. So, yeah, I'm not going to spend too much time talking about it. I don't think it warrants it, to be honest, because it's just an absolute joke. And I'll move on to the second match, which I've forgotten what it fucking was by now. I'm just going on Wikipedia. Kane and Orton. Yeah, this was okay. It was better than I thought it'd be. They didn't get too much time, which is good. I think they got about 10 minutes. Wasn't too drawn out, was just quick to the point, and Kane fucking won. Thank the Holy Christ. Vince finally gets something right. Mind you, Kane's been booked to shit and he's already been made to look about as monstrous as Hornswoggle. So I don't think it really matters, but at least they did the right thing and Kane went over. It was quite a fast-paced match. Kane, I hate Kane's work in the ring. I think he's slow, pedestrian, always never really rated his work, but this was decent. So fair play to Orton. I think he probably sort of was responsible for the quality of the match more so than Kane. So fair dues on that one. Cody Rhodes versus Big Show. Shit. Absolute shit. I expected this. This was, in my opinion, one of the sleeper matches on the card that I expected to be decent. I mean, it doesn't help that it, what was it, like 4.5, 5 minutes tops? That obviously doesn't help. They didn't get any time. They had to cram everything in to such a short space of time, but I expected this to be somewhat decent, and it was just, even though they only got 5 minutes, there was at least maybe three botches. Big Show looked like he ripped Cody Rhodes a new fucking ball sack at one point with that spear. So yeah, just untidy, messy. And after everything that Cody Rhodes has said, that's just made him look like an absolute fucking chump, in my opinion. But not being able to back up any words, any taunts, and in my opinion, will maybe damage him going down the line, because I'm expecting them to try and shoot Cody into the main event picture later on this year. But this, what Vince doesn't seem to remember, or realise, should I say, is that this stuff sticks in fans' minds. You can't just, I know they like to try, but you can't just brush over this sort of stuff. Daniel Bryan gets pulverised in 20 seconds. Cody Rhodes gets beat in 4 minutes. You know, these are guys that the future's depending on. And he's just treating them like fucking monkeys. Oh God. He needs to get hit with a shovel and knock some sense into him, grey twat. Because this stuff has an impact on the future, yeah? You can't just erase, like, what's gone on in fans' minds. They remember. People have got memories, you twat. So yeah, shit. So far, not good at all. And at this point, I'm thinking, this better improve. It needs to improve. And obviously it did. Undertaker Triple H was a great match. Yeah, it was. I'm probably not going to be able to say anything that other people won't say in their reviews, so I'm not going to bore anyone. But I did think it was kind of similar to last year. They repeated a few of the spots. The backdrop, obviously, last year was off the table onto the floor, onto Triple H. This time it was off the steps. We had the beatdowns with the steel chair, which we had last year. We had a few drawn out moments that sent to go on a bit too long, in my opinion, when Triple H was asking Shawn Michaels to ring the bell. That dragged on a bit too long for my liking. But I will give credit where it's due. Now I'm one of the people that thinks that the Undertaker streak will never be broken. I don't think it should ever be broken. But when HBK super kicked Taker and then Triple H at the pedigree, I shuffled forward on my seat and I thought, this might be it. This might be the moment. Because I thought, you know, God might want to be the one to end the streak eventually. And I did sort of edge forward on my seat thinking this might be it. But obviously it wasn't. Undertaker won the match. And the end of the match was absolutely superb, with the three of them stood together at the top of the ramp. The last remnants of the Attitude Era done and dusted. So yeah, fantastic match, no denying it. Was it as good as last year's? I didn't think so. I enjoyed last year's more, and yeah, I just thought it was a bit more. I don't know. I can't describe it. I just thought it was a bit more dramatic. I actually thought Triple H had a chance of ending the streak last year, whereas apart from the one instance this year, I never thought it was in danger. So, yeah, great match. Like I say, can't deny it. You can't deny that. You can't take anything away from the match. It was absolutely blinding, and it will be one of the matches of the year come the end of the year, no doubt about it. But not quite as good as last year, in my opinion. So, oh fuck's sake! Moving on to the Team Johnny versus Team Teddy match. I'm not going to talk about this much. It wasn't a very good match. Yeah, there was the 3 dives onto the outside, which got the fans interested at one point. But my problem is the timing of this match. Why didn't they make this the Survivor Series match? Survivor Series is November, understandably, but they should have saved this feud and started it at SummerSlam. Start this feud at SummerSlam in August, build it for a few months, and have a blow-off match at Survivor Series as the main event, and give it a lot of time, sort of 30-40 minutes at Survivor Series. Because there is some talent in this match, no doubt about it. I mean, obviously you've got Ziggler, Swagger, Mark Henry, who's obviously been pushed as a beast. Then you've got Kingston, Truth, and obviously Zack Ryder's over. So this should have been sort of treated as a special match in its own right, a Survivor Series, as the main event, in my opinion. And this match that lasted 10 minutes could have gone to the World Heavyweight Championship match. And they could have got a good match. With 10 minutes, Daniel Bryan and Sheamus could have had a good match, and we didn't need this on this card. This feud, like I say, in my opinion, this feud should have been started at SummerSlam or at some point over the summer, carried on, built up, and blown off at Survivor Series. So that's my opinion on that match. Like I say, weren't very good. I don't know where they're going to go with it. I don't really give a shit. So yeah, moving on to my personal favourite match of the night by some distance, CM Punk versus Chris Jericho. This was a fantastic match. About 22, 23 minutes I think they got, and made every second count, every single second. Fantastic storytelling, great pace, great build to the match, and I love this feud. This is one of the best feuds of the last few years, in my opinion, already, and it's only been going, a few months, but obviously with Punk winning, it would appear, and I heard that Jericho had signed a longer deal till later on in the year, so hopefully this feud carries on and we get more matches, because the chemistry is fantastic, the promos are great, the storyline is great. I love the fact that they've interjected Punk's family and made it personal. I think that's exactly what it needed. So everything about this, thumbs up from me. Fantastic stuff, and a great wrestling match, a real great story that they told. Jericho's absolutely amazing. It just makes you realise how much you miss him. I think in the golden age, like Attitude Era, sort of, he got lost in the shuffle. But now, when there's not as much strength in depth, he really does come into his own, and you can see how good he is. He is fantastic, and yeah, everything about this I loved. My match of the night, easily. So, on to the main event, Rock and John Cena. Yeah, this was good. More so for the whole thing surrounding it, the crowd and the sort of tension surrounding it, more so than the actual wrestling. I actually don't think these two have got great chemistry. I don't know if it's because they don't like each other that much, because I've heard and I've read in numerous places, and I think it's widely accepted that there is a little bit of genuine heat there, and I don't know if that's one of the reasons for it, maybe, but in my opinion, they've not got the best chemistry. You can tell straight away within the first 5-10 minutes of a match. Just nothing seemed to flow very, very easily, in my opinion. Anyway, everything seemed forced, and there was like little moments of hesitation where they weren't. It was obvious that they weren't clear exactly what was supposed to happen next, and yeah, it's just little things like that I picked up on that made me think that maybe, I don't know, maybe they're not. The chemistry's not there. I don't know. When you look at John Cena's matches with Punk or with Triple H or someone like that, where he's had good matches, Michaels, things just flow. And even though Cena's not the best worker, he still can have a really good match. But there didn't seem to be that flow there. There was, like I say, there was a couple of small botches and bits of hesitation, and I don't know if anyone else noticed it, but I thought Cena was sandbagging on The Rock a couple of times, which I don't know if he was pissed off at having to lose the match or what it was, but The Rock seemed to be having a real tough time dragging him around the ring. I can remember him trying to get a sharpshooter on, and Cena just didn't seem to want to be put in a sharpshooter at all. So I don't know if that was something that only I spotted or what, but he certainly seemed to sandbag him a couple of times. But anyway, having moaned about it, it was a great spectacle, I would say, rather than a great match. It had a little bit of an air of, let's rush through the first 20 minutes or so, just get to the end where we can do a load of false finishes, kicking out finishes, and give it a bit more added drama. That's what it seemed like to me, because the wrestling for the first 20 minutes or so was nothing spectacular in my view. And this match is obviously going to get overhyped. It's going to get overrated to fuck, in my opinion. And anybody that calls it one of the best matches of all time or any bollocks like that just knows nothing about wrestling, in my opinion. But yeah, the false finishes were good. I did think Cena had won it when he hit the last FU. I must say, I did, because I expected him to go over before the match. The fact that Rock went over, does that maybe suggest that he's hanging around and this is going to carry on for a few months? I don't know. Maybe with another match at SummerSlam. I expect Cena to certainly go over the Rock at some point. In my opinion, it does hurt Cena's credibility if the Rock just breezes through WWE and defeats him, and Cena doesn't get a win of his own. I think that does hurt him. So I expect Cena to get a win back. If not the next pay-per-view, then probably over the summer. So yeah, that's it. WrestleMania 28 done and dusted. I thought, like I say, it was a mixed bag. There was bits of it that I really enjoyed, and bits that pissed me off to no degree. So in my opinion, just typical WWE at the moment, and we'll see where they go. I'm actually normally I'm a bit flat after WrestleMania's finished, but I'm quite excited to see where they go with Punk and Jericho, and obviously Rock and Cena, because it looks like Rock's sticking around, so that's always going to be good. We'll see where they go with that. And yeah, more of the same from Punk and Jericho would do me just fine. And let's just see what they do with Daniel Bryan, because he's as shitty as that gimmick was, that cowardly heel chicken shit gimmick. He got it over, and you know, I'm no Daniel Bryan. I'm not a big fan of Daniel Bryan particularly. I don't care either way, but you've got to give the guy credit. He can get stuff over with very little. So we'll see where they go with that. But yeah, thanks for watching. I'm going to do a video on Brock Lesnar coming back. Something I'm really excited about. So it looks like he's coming back, and I'll hopefully do a video on that at some point. So see you later.